Good evening, and today is the 15th of the August, and last night I was again in my judicial room, and intend to understand a lot of issues during whole of the night. I just intend and I just try to observe the confined areas of the civil defection clauses and the operative head of the criminals in Pakistan and the criminal marriages in Pakistan. Today we have to discuss the culture within the central Punjab, the crime in defection, and the crime in absolute anarchy. Today it is very observed and reserved at the Pakistan. If every sector, wherever you just roam and you just go, you always observe the points of the non-reformed economy and the institutions and the individuals at the fiscal default under the religion. The humans under the fiscal defaults under the religion would have been observed in every sector of the central Punjab, especially, and after that they be found as to raising of the a lot of multiple social declined transitional sorts of the incomes and expenses to the others. This would not be accommodated to any Pakistani, a rigid Pakistani, that he or she had considered a lot of the defluxed sort of the insights. When I just observed the refreshment of the observation order in the Pakistan, I was bound to observe the refined time pace cycles of the same. In fact, thereafter, I am just observing the whole of the depiction. Today, it is found that the criminal marital scenes in the Pakistan, when you just this is a criminal case. I'm just portraying the 99% criminal cases in the High Court as per my reservation in the High Court. After commutation of the criminal marriages in the Pakistan, the burden of proof always resists to the father in fact, and thereafter the grandfather in fact always resists the civil description of the criminal activity of a male in fact of a female in her own transitional sort of areas. This is not, I'm not here to storytelling. And after that, when it is being observed in the civil cycles in the Pakistan, that the females depiction and the females outburst, the Pakistani and the Middle East individual most oftenly wherever they are, and in the central points of the other countries as well, they are charged with the so many criminal offenses outside the Pakistan as well. So because their basic purpose is to earn, and because they want to earn and they just want to leave the Pakistan, and after when they leave the Pakistan, during that time they commit crime with the females in Pakistan in return of the marriage. And such parents are very huge in the quantum of the fiscal deficit disorder in Pakistan as well, as per my finding, judicial finding under Article 184. Thereafter, when I just observed that those individuals who have left behind a lot of series of females, such females series of depictions of the facts are groomed under the hate culture in Pakistan. And after that, such females which are in the civil rotation of the mal roaming of their fiscal observation always come forward in the central court of the Supreme Court to have the acknowledgement of the receipt of the accurate sort of the judgments. Thereafter, I am not willing to understand the pronunciation of the judgment to the same. In fact, in the controversial points of the fiscal defaults come religious deferred transitional areas of the observation of the both type of the things. In Pakistan, it is not a settled principle. Whereas when I just observe a lot of the digital and non-digital areas of the Republicans, thereafter I come forward with that thought as well, that the Republicans, after just communicating with their females under Article 6 7 of the QSO Kanune Shahadat order, it is profound that their females are not in the observation of the refreshment of the observation of the fiscal come the religious transaction in one shoe. So they expect males from that the males should become religious and the male should become property orientated. Meanwhile, those females along with the males become the criminal motivated one as well. So when the couple of the same becomes a criminal advanced orthodox of the crime, in fact, thereafter which sector lead them into the pronunciation of the judgment in the High Court is a question of today. Whenever you just push the button of the electronic device and you try to observe the refined areas of the self reservations of the telecasting shows, it appears from their gross findings that the positions which the Pakistanis are trying to convince the conviction. I always said the Pakistani always try to convict any point of human which is not in the positions to be observant of the same. In fact, I'm totally out of my senses as to observe that the females of the Pakistan and the Pakistani are inheritedly capital criminal charge of their parents defluxed researched areas as well. I figure it out. Their parents, because of the poverty of mind and poverty of wisdom, always interpret females in that negative sense that those females would not become proper business orientated and proper salary based females in Pakistan, because the cause of action of the same is non-transparent to the same in the civil defection clauses. The males, this is a very reserved question. The males and the character assassinated males and the religious character assassinated males, I would like to discuss all these issues, because when I just observed the religious perjury cases in the Pakistan by myself, I was down to sleep around about 12 hours a day, because these scenarios of the Republicans, they always mold a lot of issues to their surrounding in the reverse of the adverse position of the non-transitional areas as well. When I just observed the issues of the Lahore, I was bound to observe the residential campus, business premises areas as well. And I was shocked to observe that the Pakistanis are in derogations to the observation of the refreshment of the local uh, re- reconciled and recollection of the piece of evidence in every sector. Thereby, when I just considered the schooling and the qualification and the universities areas, thereby thereafter, I was totally out of my senses again. When I just observe a lot of malified reproduction females of the Pakistanis with the intention of to having a male of the rich side, it is a curse in Pakistan today. The Pakistani females always want to have the rich males inheritedly, and during that time, such females commit crimes with the subordinate fellowship of the college in the Pakistan as well. As per my finding, that the Pakistani females, after commutation of the marital discoveries in the wrong depiction of the facts, always have the constructive critical observation of the deferment of their fiscal negation as well in the provisional orders of the Central Pakistan and the Supreme Judicial Council as well. And their parents are automated criminal, in fact, especially subdivisional areas of the Lahore, as per my finding. This is my constructive critical finding about the females and their parents of the Pakistan, that they are not in the positions to observe the confined areas of their reproductive growth. I observe these factors by myself. When I just observe these factors, that the females are not in the position, their parents are trying to trade those females with the other males, and after that, such males want to have the refreshment of the religion in the prerogative, which is I'm not observing, which factor I'm not trying to confine with myself, that thereof the concept of the female's negligence reproduction under the hate speech, under the hate culture, while raising the religion of Islam everywhere and beating around the bush with the oaths, is a concurrence of not mine. I always said that this is not my issue. This is the issue of the public at fiscal default under their religion. When the public itself is in the fiscal default under their selective religion for their selective piece of meal, thereafter the concept of the disease, pre-deceased properties would also automatically reassociated, recollected with the same subject line as well. So they always recollect those evidence which are not in the favor of the second party, third party, but their own part. And this depiction of the facts inheritedly in the Pakistani females as well. First, I was of the opinion that the Pakistani females are very biased, very pious, but the same females, 95% are biased in Pakistan. Today, the Pakistani population raised around about 40 crore, and the telecasting shows have no proper valuation of that as well. The concept of the same in the proper lines of the criminal misappropriated defected parents in the Pakistan, after raising the non-restoration order of the same, such parents always want to have that the females were have right. But I'm not of that opinion. I'm not of that opinion that if the females are dying out of their parents neglect, thereafter there might be the some disaster which happened to the some females because of their known understanding. They are not religious. I always said that Pakistanis are trading religious individuals. They are trading religious individuals. They are not religious. They are not even the business orientated one. They are dunked above of type of individuals everywhere you go. I just figured it out by myself. They always standard a pardon of they always try to insult the others, but when they are about to get insulted, their asses are being burned. These bastard Pakistani, I take them on my foot. The question is that if any bastard religion, non-religion female is dying out of the public sector, that is not my fault. Yeah, the concept of that, if the Pakistani females are differing with the payments of their ancestrals at default, that is not my fault. I should clear these bastard Pakistani on their faces that if their females are being distracted, if their males are being distracted, that is not my fault. That is the fault of their malfunctioning of the raised of the capital distracted females in the poverty lines. It is a curse in Pakistan when a female and a male is a poor, they are about to get a merit. I always said that while you're a poor, you have to reframe the social anxiety. But these depiction of the facts of the same, they always try to have the counter affidavits during the same that we are poor, but this is our right. I always confused with this thought as well, that what is about the right if you are not, if you are poor and you are trying to make another person with yourself extreme poor. First you are yourself very poor and you want to get married because your right is there, but after having the right with the same, the third right is originated, and after that you just want to compile the rights of the third and second person. I'm not in the position to observe all these bastard individuals in myself. First they associate the females with themselves. They are so self-celebrated within every sector. I'm totally shocked when I observe that the Pakistani females always come forward within the marital discoveries. I just observe in the central Punjab that the marital discoveries and the female orientations in the name of the marriages raised this capital offense in the Pakistan, where the Article 184 Supreme Judicial Council is bound to take the notice on those individuals who get married in the extreme poverty line over their parental negligence, and after that the, and there is another a complex issue in the Pakistan which I observe in the whole of the central Pakistan. That is a prime social crime in Pakistan which should be acknowledged, that here in Pakistan the parents are sahulatkar in the marriages, in the wrong marriages, and after that being a sahulatkar and accomplice, they always provide the shelter of the marital discovery to the other person, that in the name of, what is that offense? I'd always said that it is a hirs, property or hirs. The Pakistani and the property hirs, section 2D hirs over their parents are deflected, and those parents are totally confined with their self, with their issues, and they don't worry about the issues of the second and prime person in relocation of the same, because they consider that they're above board. They consider they bastard consider this self, and after that they said that we are getting poor, that's why we are fucking the females. First you were poor and you were fucking your females in your houses. I'm not of the opinion of that. If you are being fucked by your females and you have no idea, your economy will be fucked by your females in your house, and you'll raise the religion everywhere. I'm not observing these questions because I'm totally confined with the so moto digital notice to against the Pakistani individual who just fuck their females, and after that fucking their females, they always want to have a prime located individual to whom they can restore a burden of plea that such person is not reassociated with the same. I'm not of that opinion now. If their females are vagabond approved criminals by inheritance, and such females are also crime and defection clauses in every sector, and every area of houses in Pakistan, the females are not religious. they I observed that when the Pakistani females are not religious, then the males will become vagabond criminal. That is the way the crime in the public street raised today. You observe that the crime in the fact in the recovery is associated with the females, and thereafter the females have become so automated with the general crimes in fact in Pakistan, that today you cannot observe to reserve a thought to restore a general order against the same. In fact, the young students are out of salary, out of wages, because those individuals and those prime associated criminals in the public streets are also an individual who is production of a malified female. I always said that when an area of criminal area, if you get married in a criminal area, your children will become criminal in their upper ages limits. I always said that why I'm stacking over these issues. These are not my personal issues, these are public issue. I just reform the public for their welfare, civil welfare, that if the Pakistani females always like the criminals, what the and the same criminals are in association with the relation with the same females, thereafter when their criminal males become advanced criminal with the females, such females will be criminal more than males now. And when the criminal females and criminal males will collaborate with each other, the children production will be crime in association. This is my criminology in fact adverse observation regarding the Republic of the Pakistan. They tend to sell their female in the name of marriage. The other person is not willing to have them. When you are socially totally negated and totally negative with every sector and with every factor, then the other person is not in the positions to have the observation of your female, right? So stay blessed. This is my advanced interpretation of the Constitution of the articles, and I would like to entail the more. So this is Advocate Gulraiz King, August.